What's up, guys? This is Ellie, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Eagle Eye Mysteries. Let's begin. Today, we and Jake are going to take on the case of the counterfeit card. 4 more cases to go before book 1 wraps up, so I'm looking forward to book 2. Right, without further ado, let's take a look and get a little backstory on the case. Eagle Eye Detective Agency, Jake here. Jake, this is Michael Gallen. You know how detectives on TV sometimes gets job guarding things, right? I mean, like guarding crime witnesses and stuff. I guess I've seen shows like that on TV, Michael. What's up? And sometimes they guard valuable things, like a $1 million painting being sent to a museum, right? Michael, it sounds to me like you have something valuable and you're afraid someone's going to steal it. Shh, Jake. Don't tell anyone. My brother and I are over at Riverside Park. I'm calling from the payphone on the corner. You've got to get here fast. Okay, Michael, okay. But the Eagle Eye Detective Agency hasn't ever guarded something valuable before. We don't care. You guys and Ellie are the only ones we can trust. Please just get over here. Okay, Michael, we'll be right there. Well, Ellie, what do you think of that? I hope we aren't jumping in over our heads on this one. Right, let's head to the park. Okay, what seems to be the problem? Look! There are Michael and Christopher and their dog Cassie. They look so nervous, you'd think they found a chest full of buried gold. Jake, Ellie, boy, are we glad you're here. Yeah, ever since Cassie dug up that box, we've been afraid to go anywhere. No, we weren't afraid. We were just, we were undecided. We were playing catch beside the Andrew Jackson statue, and Cassie was digging a hole over by the riverbank. All of a sudden, she started barking like crazy and dancing around the hole like she does when you're making her dinner. So we ran over to see what she found, and there was this old tin box, half buried in the ground at the bottom of the hole. Michael and Christopher's dog, Cassie, has dug a small hole in the earth at the foot of the statue. Her digging has uncovered a small metal object. An old tin box is visible at the bottom of the hole. It's hard to read, but part of the writing on the box says cotton swabs. It looks like the top of the can could be lifted off. Inside the tin box is a small baseball card. The baseball card looks very old. On the bottom are the words Wagner, Pittsburgh. The back of the card has glue stains and tear marks. Yuck! It sure smells old. It looks like someone glued it in an album and then tore it out again. You know what's scary, you guys? Andy Hill has a poster of a card on the wall over at his baseball card shop. It's the card that Wayne Gretzky, the hockey star, and another guy bought at an auction. They paid over $500,000 for it. This one is kind of messed up, but it's the same card. We stared at the poster 1,000 times. He's right, Jake. That's it. It's the same Wagner card that Wayne Gretzky bought. It's worth a lot of money. It doesn't look like anyone noticed what you've found. Just walk home. It's only a couple blocks back to your house. Ellie and I will do some investigating and tell you what we find out. Okay, I just wish we had an armored car to ride in. Okay, so we have a little exploration to do. Let's work downwards to the Ridgeview Mall. We should go and look at the poster for ourselves and see what it's like. I was hoping that a baseball card show would be happening here today, but no luck. Why would there be a baseball card show? Hmm. Hi Jake, hello Ellie. I'm filling in here at the copy kiosk while the owner works at his other store. It's boring, but I earn extra money every month and I still have time for my job at the Egyptian Theatre. I bet making copies all the time gets kind of boring. Yeah, the only interesting customer I've had this year was when Mark Moriarty wanted to make a color copy of that real old paper back a couple of months ago. I thought that old cardboard wouldn't work in the machine, but we copied the picture from the magazine and it came out great. Old cardboard, eh? Mark. What trouble are you getting us all into this time? There's Mark right now, speak of the devil. Andy Hill knows everything there is to know about baseball cards. I bet he can help us figure out what that card really is. That old Wagner on the poster over there looks fresh, doesn't it, Mark? What are you guys nosing around about old baseball cards for? Relax, Mark. Ellie and I just thought that poster looks cool. That poster came from Card Life magazine. The issue that came out 2 months ago had a big article about a Wagner card with color pictures. Mark here bought a copy from me himself. I didn't read that part. I just read the articles about Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds. I don't care about old cards. I only like new cards. Old cards are stupid looking. Boy, Mark, that's not what you used to say. You told me you'd love to have a Wagner card and sell it and get rich. How did a guy change his mind? Why are you guys all over me about some stupid old card? Why don't you just let a guy collect whatever he wants to? Hey Jake, Ellie, how are you two guys doing? Hi Andy, can you tell us about the card in that poster over there? There's a great story behind that card. It was issued over 80 years ago, and it shows a picture of the great Hall of Fame shortstop, Honus Wagner. The card is worth over half $500,000. Wow, why so much? These days, baseball cards come with bubble gum, or you get them when you eat at a certain restaurant, or you can buy them all by themselves. But 80 years ago, baseball cards came with cigarettes. Yuck! Cigarette smoking is gross, and that is something I agree with. You're right, and that's why the card is so expensive. Honus Wagner hated cigarettes and thought people shouldn't smoke them. But in 1910, the tobacco company put his cards in the cigarette packs anyway. Wagner was very angry because he believed smoking was bad. He was afraid kids who respected him would get the wrong idea. So he made the company take all his cards out of the packages and destroy them. It sounds like Honus Wagner really cared about the kids who watched him play. What happened next? The cigarette company took back all the packages and destroyed all the Wagner cards. Or so they thought. A few of the packs with the cards had already been sold by stores. Everybody wanted one. Now, 80 years later, Wagner is the rarest card in the Hall of Fame. There are less than 50 copies in the world, and Wayne Gretzky, the hockey star, paid over $500,000 for one in great condition. The poster on the wall looks just like the card that Michael and Christopher found. Okay. Let's wander over to Mrs. Maniski's house, see if she has anything to say about it. It looks like Mrs. Maniski is getting ready to have another yard sale. She had one just a couple of months ago and lots of people came. I'm afraid there won't be much of interest to people as young as you at my yard sale. I'm selling off some more old family things I found in the attic. Is it okay if we look at the stuff you're setting out anyway? Maybe we'll find something interesting. Certainly, just be careful with the delicate things, please. These metal boxes look just like the one that Michael and Christopher found at Riverside Park. The one that had the baseball card inside. I should have thought of pointing out those old 1910 tin boxes. Mark Moriarty thought they were fascinating. And he bought one at my last yard sale. It was so funny. After he bought the tin box, he gave me $1 for a piece of old cardboard that was in a carton of my mother's old magazines. It was over 80 years old, but why buy a piece of cardboard? Well, I guess if you have the cardboard. Mrs. Garcia knows how to find anything in the library. But will they have anything about how you find out if an old baseball card is real? An old baseball card. We do have books on how they tell if old paintings and drawings are real. Why don't you try looking those up? Okay, let's have a look at those. The book on art history tells how criminals sometimes make fake copies of expensive old drawings and paintings by famous artists. Then they sell the fakes to collectors and museums for lots of money. This type of fraud is called forgery. There are experts who work for museums to figure out if an old drawing is fake or if it is real. First, they take a look at the paper to make sure it's the same kind of old paper that was used when the drawing was made. To fool the experts, criminals sometimes take real sheets of old paper and use them to make fake drawings. Because of this, museums also have to check the ink that is used on the drawing to make sure that it is genuine. Criminals will go to great lengths to make these forgeries appear realistic and old enough to fool the experts. Some items are even buried in the ground for several months to give them an authentic look of age. Encyclopedia says Honest Wagner played shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates from 1900 to 1917. He was known for being a great hitter, a fast runner, and the best fielding shortstop in the league. When they started the Hall of Fame in 1936, they picked the 5 greatest baseball players of all time up to that point. Honus Wagner was one of the 5 greatest players. Wow, no wonder Honus Wagner is in the Hall of Fame. It sounds like he was part Rickey Henderson and part Cal Ripken Jr. and part Ozzie Smith, all rolled into one. I don't play baseball, so I do not recognize any of these names. Alright, I think that is enough clues to solve this case. Michael and Christopher Gallen are sitting at home waiting to hear about that baseball card. Pick the 5 clues that explain the mystery. Well, in this case, it's definitely Mark who did it. So we just need to find the right clues to figure out. No, to point out the fact that he is the one who made it. So Mark bought the box and a cardboard, made a color copy of the card and printed it on old cardboard, box cardboard. Now that we've found the right clues, point out the person who you think is behind the buried baseball cards. If it is real, select Honus Wagner himself. And as I said, the culprit of this is Mark, although since he didn't attempt to sell it, at least not yet, I wonder if you still call this fraud or forgery? It is counterfeiting, yes. You figured it out. Mark Moriarty created the counterfeit card. Let's check the evidence. Michael and Christopher Gallen and their dog Cassie found an old tin box. In the box was an old baseball card of Honus Wagner, one of the greatest shortstops of all time. Michael and Christopher recognized the card because it was pictured on the wall of Hill's baseball card shop. They knew that if it was real, the card was worth thousands of dollars. But was it real? Andy Hill said there were less than 50 of these cards left in the world. He said he had sold Mark Moriarty a copy of a magazine with a picture of the Wagner card in it. Mrs. Maniski told us she sold an old tin box and a piece of old cardboard to Mark Moriarty. Nicola Hamble told us Mark went to the copy kiosk at the mall. He made a color copy from a magazine onto a piece of very old cardboard. You figured it out. Mark Moriarty created the fake Honus Wagner card and buried it in the park. He planned to let it age in the ground for a few months. Then Mark planned to go to the park one day and discover the long-lost Honus Wagner card. He figured that if the card was in bad condition, people would be less suspicious than if it looked brand new, and it would still be worth thousands of dollars. Unfortunately for Mark, Cassie the Gallen's dog decided she wanted to collect baseball cards too. She dug up Mark's treasure before he was ready to come and get it. Look, Mark's baseball card scam made the front page of the Courier. He had no idea that he could go to jail for selling a fake baseball card. Luckily for him, Ellie solved the mystery before he broke the law and got into trouble. Only we know the real story behind this article, but it deserves a place of honor in the scrapbook because Ellie did a great job on an important case. Baseball card counterfeiters foiled. A major counterfeit baseball card scam was uncovered today by Ellie of the Eagle Eye Detective Agency. Thanks to clever detective work by Ellie, the plan was discovered before the counterfeiters had a chance to fool any local baseball fans, said the chief. Brothers Michael and Christopher Gallen found what appeared to be a 1910 baseball card of Hall of Famer Honus Wagner. If it had been real, experts estimate that battered card would have sold for over $50,000. Chief Barn explained the card was buried in a 1910 tin box and was printed on 1910 cardboard. Only a lab check on the ink, suggested by Ellie, proved the card was fake. Police have no leads at present as to who manufactured the fake card. I bet whoever it was is hopping mad right now, said Barnes. But he or she should be glad that Ellie solved this mystery before they tried to sell the fake card as genuine. Fraud is a pretty hefty crime. Well, considering that they are kids, I don't think they will get any sentence of jail time. They'll probably forfeit all their money and probably take a fine though, but again, they're minors. Anyway, that's it for that case. If you've been enjoying this series, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Right, thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, and as usual, this is Ellie signing out.